we got no music.
All right.
No, I think we've got like 40 seconds.
Stay on time. We have 6 minutes. 20 minutes. But I tell her that. And you're tired. And all the timers stop.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. I still feel these.
Yeah, now you just have a bunch of work. Congratulations. I was thinking about doing
Oh, you're overtime.
Yeah. 9 minutes line in there too.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I'm sorry, squirrel moment.
Excellent. Oh.
Perfect, thank you.
Now
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Good morning. Hello.
I think you have to actually speak into it.
I did.
Try now.
Hello. Okay. Good morning and welcome to 1 Million Cups. How many of you, this is your first time attending this week? Woohoo! Love that. So 1 Million Cups is hosted, it's entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs. We meet every Wednesday morning here at the beautiful Fat Pipe building. Thank you, Stu. Where'd Stu go? Oh, back that way. Thank you, Stu, for hosting us. Sabio Systems is our sponsor for coffee this morning from Hartford Square. We've got C&M, who has provided the hardware that we need that Nick can do the live stream. And so it's really about a community of entrepreneurs supporting each other. So this morning we have 2 presentations, and I have the pleasure of announcing our first presentation. Will you welcome Don Daniel Ortiz with Latino Success Academy.
Good morning. Get to my clicker here. Well, good morning. It's a pleasure to be here. I want to thank the Kauffman Foundation for inviting me to speak to this organization. I want to thank Eric for inviting me as well. And I want to thank you for being here. I know as busy entrepreneurs, with the possible exception of your health and your family, your time is the most important commodity. So I want to make sure that your time today is a good investment for you. Now, before I begin, I would like to introduce the Latino Success Academy, which is a business membership coaching website. But before we get into the academy, I'd like to clarify something. You may have noticed that I was introduced as Don Daniel Ortiz. Well, my name is Daniel Ortiz, but Don Daniel is my brand. Now, what does that mean? How many people here have heard of Don Corleone? Now, is Don short for Donald? Now, how many people here have heard or read The Adventures of Don Quixote? Or have seen Don Francisco on Sábado Gigante? Right. So Don in Latin culture designates somebody who is the head of an organization or is the leader, or sometimes it denotes just respect for somebody. And in previous times, when people had manners and social graces, gentlemen of a certain stature, again, leaders were referred to as Don. This is Latin culture. But also women, if she was a certain class or certain stature, would be addressed as Doña, followed by her first name. So back in 2005, when I wrote my second book, it became evident that being found on the internet was kind of important, right? So if you Googled or if you searched for Daniel Ortiz at that time, you'd find lots. There's tons. And one of the things I discovered is when I searched for my Daniel Ortiz, is that Daniel Ortiz is very popular with police. because there's always a Daniel Ortiz getting arrested, pulled over. So that's not good, right? As a speaker, as an author, that's not good. But I also found an interesting phenomenon. When I would attend a conference where I wasn't a speaker, people would come up to me and they'd say, are you the Daniel Ortiz, a professor there's several Daniel Ortizes that are professors at major universities. One of them is a professor at Yale who publishes all kinds of things. So he's out coming up on the internet. So I'd get approached, are you the professor at Yale who published? And, I couldn't help but raise my eyebrows and say, no, very flattered, but no, I'm not that Daniel Ortiz. Another interesting phenomena was that, especially when YouTube became popular, there's a Daniel Ortiz that is a Tejano musician, very popular, Grammy Award-winning artist. And you know what a Tejano musician is? He's like a Mexican cowboy, right? Got the big hat, the shiny shirts, the big buckle, the colorful pointy boots that go on forever, right? You've seen those guys around. So people would ask me, are you the Daniel Ortiz musician? And I couldn't help but roll my eyes and say, no, I'm not a musician. Look at me, dude. And still, there was another interesting phenomenon. I would get approached at a conference, or sometimes emailed, because I do have DanielOrtiz.com. I'd get approached and asked, always by a woman, female, who would ask me, are you the Daniel Ortiz that was voted sexiest bachelor in Miami? So when I got asked that question, I would just smile and wink. So it just occurred to me that, you need to do something different, so I thought Don Daniel Ortiz as my pen name, the nom de plume, right? So let me ask you a question. Where do you think I rank now on Google with Don Daniel Ortiz? And number 2. And number 3. I own, or dominate rather, the entire page of Google, first page, and 8 out of the 10 slots, depending on the day, on the second page. Now, it's not all Don Daniel Ortiz. Some of it is my TV show, my book, an article, but it's me. So I'm going to share that story for 2 reasons. As an entrepreneur, you have to realize, and it's true, whatever challenge you have is actually an opportunity in disguise. My challenge to be noticed on the internet was an opportunity. Also, I want to mention that because people confuse me and don't know how to address me. I hope we meet some of you today and hear your story. So people want to know, how do I call you? Well, my name is Daniel. That's fine. Some people who know me when I was young, mostly family members, refer to me as Danny, and some people do call me Don Daniel. So you can call me any one of those 3, just don't call me on weekends. Okay? So that's the story of Don Daniel, and you're not going to forget that, I promise you. So I'm here to introduce the Latino Success Academy, a little bit more about Don Daniel. I'm a born entrepreneur. I have over 40 years experience in business. Now, no, I'm not 70 years old. I have 40 years experience in business because I started my first business when I was 5 years old, selling paper airplanes. Now, I grew up in an age when we didn't have gadgets, right? We didn't have video games and stuff, so we had to, and like a lot of you, we had to create our own fun. So the kids in the neighborhood, we would have paper airplane contests. Now, most of the kids, in fact, all the other kids in the neighborhood made their paper airplanes out of typing paper or notebook paper. And I think my family was the only family in the neighborhood who bought or subscribed to Life magazine. Remember Life magazine? Huge, 14 by 9, glossy. I made my paper airplanes out of pages of Life magazine, and it was no contest. It was like a 747 compared to prop. So all the other kids wanted one, so I sold them, a dime. And once I discovered there was a demand, I got my little sister and her friends, because they wouldn't hang around there with their cool big brother. I got them on an assembly line, cutting out paper, and I sent them out to the neighborhood, door to door, literally. And when they sold all of that, I sent them out and they sold Kool-Aid to the neighborhood. So I've been in business of some form or another for 40 years, folks. I am a former stockbroker and president of Ortiz & Company, which is a financial planning firm. And what I call my former life, I had a Series 7, so I did investment, estate, and retirement planning, mostly for a lot of entrepreneurs. I've also been the chief investment officer of First Interstate Bank, New Mexico, which is now Wells Fargo. I managed the private client services department. I had $135 million under management at the time, and I was served on the board of directors. I've also worked for Fortune 100 companies like Citibank and AOL. This is at the time when AOL was the internet, before Google came on board. How many people here started with an AOL email address, right? So that's the story or the background. I'm also an award-winning author. I've written 3 books. My latest book, How to Achieve the American Dream Without Losing Your Latin Soul. won an award by the International Latino Book Awards. That's an organization founded by Edward Olmos. I'm very, very pleased to win this award. It's other award winners have been Chief Justice Sonia Sotomayor, Uri Anaya, Adolfo Anaya, and Paulo Coelho. So very, very happy to win that. I'm also the executive producer and host of a TV talk show called American Dream Latin Souls. This is a talk show where I interview Hispanic entrepreneurs and they share their story of their journey achieving their dream in business. We started off in Santa Fe, Mexico, very small and public access TV. 3 months later, it got picked up by TVC Latino, which is the largest cable provider in Mexico. It's equivalent of a Comcast here. And it's been aired in 5 of the top 10 U.S. media markets across the country, including L.A., New York, Chicago, etc. They have 20 million viewers. And my next venture, and as part of the overall brand, is LatinoSuccess.com. I actually started a coaching practice. I specialize in coaching entrepreneurs. And the next evolution of that is the Latino Success Academy, which is a coaching website, once again. So the Latino Success Academy's mission is to inspire, train, and support the personal growth and professional development of Hispanic entrepreneurs and sales professionals. The education, specialized training, and coaching members of the Academy to learn the skills needed to succeed in 21st century business. Now, what's the need? Why do we need an academy, Latino Success Academy? Well, most businesses fail after 5 years. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, most businesses fail after 5 years of startup. So this is an interesting graph here. You look at the survival rates of establishments from 1994 to 2010. What you'll find is that the lower graph here shows how many years you're in business. The top left column is the percentage of businesses that are still active. You look very clearly at by year 3, about a third of businesses are out of business. By year 5, roughly half of businesses are out. Now, what's interesting about this graph is that these are all businesses starting from 1994 through 2010. So what's wrong with this picture? I'm using 2000 as a benchmark, if you will, as kind of pre-internet. A lot of businesses weren't really online. You know, a lot of us didn't have websites before 2000. So what's interesting is this graph, the slope of this graph is virtually the same. Cost of entry into, barriers to entry into businesses have gone down dramatically since 1994, haven't they? Computer costs have gone down. Internet hosting has gone down. Everything has gone down, but yet businesses are failing at the same rate. Why? Well, after 40 years in business, I have the answer. There's a lot of reasons, but there's one major reason, and the main reason I started the Latino Success Academy. It's about inner game. Success is 80% psychological and only 20% technical, folks. There's been a plethora, there's been a huge avalanche of information on how to succeed in business over the internet. We've got chambers of commerce, we've got the SBA, we've got more information than we need, but most businesses fail. So it's about inner game. How do I go here? So entrepreneur is a mindset, really. And success in business is really about your mindset. And you can't teach entrepreneurs, you can only coach them. So the founding principle of the Academy is before you can grow your business, you must first grow yourself. So the membership website is basically focused on a specific subject which offers some kind of a service only to members, not for visitors that are not subscribed as members. So the Academy is a membership website. We focus on the Hispanic market, which Forbes calls the next media jackpot. This is the growth of the Hispanic market. In the Hispanic market in the U.S. alone, if we were a country, Hispanics, we'd be the 20th largest economy in the world. The online learning industry is growing. Forbes says it's poised for $107 billion in 2015. So the Academy is modeled after two very, very successful online learning websites, Udemy.com. Anybody heard of Udemy.com? Okay. They have over 7 million students, more than 30,000 courses, and 16,000 instructors. How about Lynda.com? Everybody hear about Lynda.com? Raise your hand. Okay. They have over 3,600 video courses, and clients include, they're doing corporate training for like Microsoft, NBC, Adobe, and they just got sold for $1.5 billion by LinkedIn. So there is a model, and it's a very profitable model as well. So my main strategy is affiliate marketing. How many people here know about affiliate marketing? Okay. So the old sales model was you cold call somebody, do sales demo, qualified leads, maybe do a pay-per-click system. My model is social networking. I'm partnering with large organizations that have a large Hispanic entrepreneurship following. We're going to do education. We're going to do online video tutorials, do teleseminars, webinars, and then engage them. So we have 2 levels, premium and free, and we have different services for the various levels. So how can you help? What I need is to find out what's your biggest challenge. Is it technology, marketing, sales? Because I'm going to be doing videos. So you can share with me what your challenge is. What price points would you pay to join a membership website? Would you pay $9.97 for a lifetime, $97 annual, or a monthly? Would you prefer monthly? And what kind of trainings do you want? And that's my story. Thank you. Yeah, it's a niche. So it's not exclusively focused. We're not going to turn away anybody that's not Hispanic. It's just because it's for marketing purposes. There are Hispanic organizations, Hispanic chambers of commerce. It's just easier to target Hispanic entrepreneurs than entrepreneurs in general.
So if the barrier to success in entrepreneurship is 80% psychological, what's the biggest problem, the biggest 2 or 3 problems that you see people have?
There's 3 as an entrepreneur: isolation, frustration, overwhelm. And that's part of why organizations like this have evolved, is because as entrepreneurs, we're kind of isolated. We don't have the water cooler, group. So this is why you're here today, because you want to associate. But it's also important to associate with other entrepreneurs. I have gone to many networking functions, as I'm sure a lot of you have. And, I think chambers of commerce, although they play a role, they're old school, because you get people all over the board. You get people who are unemployed, you got people in professions. Very few are actually true entrepreneurs. And entrepreneurs, we're a different breed. So isolation, frustration, overwhelm are the biggest challenges.
So why are you asking us about technology, marketing, and social media?
Because we still need to learn these things. I mean, I have several. I could build my own website, but I know I have to create a blog, and technology is just holding me back. So I want to find out what kind of tutorials you would want to watch if you were to join an academy of this type. So let me ask you a question. Let me show you.
Psychological component?
Absolutely. Yeah. Most of the tutorials we have will be personal development, personal growth, irresistible attraction, branding, so forth. So let me ask you a question just real quickly. How many people here, technology is your biggest challenge? Wow, thank you. Very few, okay. How about marketing and sales? Show of hands. Okay. Would you include branding in that? No? Yeah? Okay. How about taking advantage of social media? Monetizing social media. How many people? Okay. Anything else that you want to share? It's a big challenge. So what price points would you pay if you were to join a membership website? Would you prefer a one and done, lifetime, $9.97? How many people would pay that? Okay. How about a $97 annual? Okay. How many people prefer a monthly, $27? Okay. So it looks like between $97 annual and $27 premium. By the way, this is just the front end. I'll get you in a minute. This is just the front end. The back end, the real money is going to be made on the back end when we do live events like boot camps and we get sponsors. So my goal here isn't really to make money on the membership. It's to gather a tribe, engage them, offer them content, and then sell it back in live event and get sponsors. Sir?
Where do you fit in access to capital to your model?
access to capital. Well, one of the tutorials or videos we'll have will be crowdfunding, which is like the latest fundraising event or way to access to capital. But access to capital isn't really an inner game challenge. So most of this will be inner game personal development, as opposed to, because it's already out there, access to capital, your business structure, all that stuff from the SBA or Chamber of Commerce. But we'll have, I think what's the biggest trend now, one of the biggest trends is crowdfunding. So we'll have a video, and I just got introduced to that. We may have a tutorial on crowdfunding on how to raise money. Okay, sir, no, t-shirt.
I guess my question is as to what is your biggest challenge, and I'd be curious if you would ask the question. I think it would actually be prioritization, organization, and time management. I mean, that'd be a good question to ask for entrepreneurs.
Time management is huge for entrepreneurs.
I think that's the biggest challenge.
Okay, thank you. Anything else? Great. Thank you.
Well, before we let you go, we have one question for you. What, as a community, can we do for Latino Success Academy?
Thank you. If you belong to, if you are Hispanic, you're welcome to join. We're going to roll out in October. If you're not Hispanic, you're welcome to join. We roll out in October. But really introduce me to other networks. If you have a large LinkedIn following, if you have a LinkedIn group, or if you belong to an organization that you think would be a good target market, one of the marketing strategies, and I briefly ran over it, is affiliate marketing. So the way that's going to work is if you join the academy, no matter what level it is, if you enroll somebody else through your network, you get 30% commission off the fee to 2 levels deep. So you actually can join the academy, pay, but actually profit from joining. It's not a network marketing deal, it's just an affiliate program that goes 2 levels deep. So you can actually learn and earn. So if you belong to an organization, or if you'd like to be part of the network, contact me at latinosuccess.com. This is my website, and you can reach me there.
Thank you. Steve, are you ready for announcements? Yeah, feel free to grab coffee, but before getting up, we have a really special announcement. We have a couple birthdays in the house today. So we have Steve, and then we have Megan's birthday. So if everybody will join in and a happy birthday. If not, you lied to me.
Judging by the tone of this,
It's his birthday.
so it's really not, but here's the internet lies to you all the time, if you may have heard that before. However, we haven't celebrated anybody's birthday, and it definitely is Megan's. So who can join us in a little bit of a happy birthday? Please go get some coffee. You don't necessarily need to be sitting down for this, but happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. And happy birthday to all the companies and all that other good stuff. So we'll be starting up in about 5 minutes. Oh, shoot.
So feel free to grab some coffee. Quick announcements. If you haven't signed up on meetup.com by signing up there. Can't hear me in the back? Is that better? I hold it right to my mouth. All right. Meetup has a meetup for the event, so if you sign up, if you need any help, feel free to ask Charles. Also, sign up for Bounce Chat. You can also post that you're here and let other people know about 1 Million Cups. It is Entrepreneurial Wednesday today, so feel free to, at 2 o'clock, Zach out in the back will be over at ABQID, the Verge Building, if you haven't been to the Verge Building right across the street. And then 3 to 5 is Entrepreneurial Office Hours. And at 5 p.m., Pat McNamara will do pitch coaching. Tomorrow morning from 9 to 10, similar to this, is Tazas at the South Valley Economic Development Center. And then also coming up July 15th is Stacy's Marcom Mixer right here at Fat Pipe. Right here. And if you haven't signed up, go ahead. I think, are there handouts up here?
We have a handout. There's a Hold My Ticket has the...
Oh, okay. Hold my ticket.
So we've got 21 marketing clubs coming, including...
Yeah, 21 marketing clubs, tons of people. We'll be there. Everybody's going to be there. So that is July 15th at 5:30 here at Fat Pipe. And then we have another exciting announcement, which we know almost nothing about. It is the Kauffman Foundation's 1 in a Million contest that they keep sending us email that said, there's a new contest coming. We're going to send you details. And then they send us no details. But there's a 1 in a Million contest. So the first prize is $10,000, second prize $5,000, third prize is I think $1,000. But it's available to any presenters at 1 Million Cups before August 2nd. So if you have presented, get in contact with us or check on the 1 Million Cups website or 1mcabq.com, and we'll have more details up there. We'll also post details as soon as we get them on our social media sites. And I think that's it. Any other announcements? Quick announcements? No? Thank you for that, Nick. The next presenter is not Roseanne, it's Roxanne.
Yep.
We do now? You ready now? If you're ready now. All right. Crowd up now. Or do you want to introduce? Who hasn't heard of creative startups? Has anyone not heard of them? All right, there's one. You've got one that hasn't heard of you. So, all right.
So yeah, I'm the one without the technology, so we always pull Steve in. So as soon as he pulls up Roxanne's presentation, we'll properly bring you up on. That's not the one? That's the middle. Go to the beginning. Don't look. Don't look. Yay, there you go. So Roxanne, will you join us up on stage for Creative Startups? Woohoo! If the coffee didn't wake you up, that might. So, good morning, everyone. I'm Roxanne Blair. I'm the Director of Programs at Creative Startups. You'll see Tom Augustin is here with me. He's our Executive Director. And then you'll notice that the beautiful young woman on the screen is here, Sydney from Etke, as well as Azine from Brightbot. And so those are two of the entrepreneurs that have gone through the Creative Startups Accelerator program. So even though it's great if you want to listen to me, they're the real ones. They're the ones that have been through it and can give you the best feedback and tell you the real dirt. So if you don't believe what I'm saying, they're the ones to talk to. So Creative Startups is a business accelerator for the creative industries. And so first of all, let's do a little word association. What do you think of when you hear the creative economy? And just shout it out. You've had your coffee. Let's go. All right, yep. The biggest thing we hear is art, and that's what a lot of people think, jewelry. But it extends far beyond that. The creative economy actually includes everything from architecture, film, design, TV and media. So it's a really large segment. It makes up about 4% of the global economy, which doesn't sound huge, but when you bring it to New Mexico, the creative economy is actually bigger than manufacturing and construction combined in our state. And so it's a huge industry. Then the accelerator piece. So accelerators exist. There's thousands of them around the world. They're really successful at targeting companies that are looking to grow. What we found when we started Creative Startups is that there wasn't a great accelerator for the creative industries. So what we've done with our accelerators, we haven't reinvented the wheel. We've taken really proven and tried and true principles for business, and we've modified that wheel so that it fits on a whole new make and model of cars. And so it fits a large variety of people coming not just from arts backgrounds, but from the background of design, film, fashion, and beyond. So to explain some of what we do, I'm going to use an example of one of the teams who's not here today, Meow Wolf. And so I wanted to put the unofficial story of Meow Wolf because I know I'm going to get a few things wrong. So with our accelerator program, we accept applications once yearly. We accepted 12 companies in our first year, and applications are open now, which I'll probably repeat several times throughout this presentation to drill it in. But so Meow Wolf applied. They're an artist collaborative. They've been working together for years, young artists, kind of
informally, sometimes working on projects, sometimes making money, sometimes not. Then they had a big hit in 2012 with the Do Return, where they built this massive ship that you could actually go into, climb around, explore, interactive, and included technology, interactive pieces, and it was a huge hit. They had 25,000 visits in 3 months, paid visits, as artists. So when we think of arts, this is something that goes a little bit beyond that, and they realized that, wow, we have something more than just a project. We have something more than a one-time art installation. We have the makings of a company here. But now what? So we flash forward to, oops, I think, there we go. Ooh. We flashed forward really far. It was a time warp. It's all part of the Do Return. You're really going to be amazed when you see Meow Wolf stuff. It takes you forward in time. Basically, the whole point is that Meow Wolf, when they came to us, they were saying things like, we know we have a great product, but how do we work as entrepreneurs? We don't have that business know-how. They have the vision. They knew what they wanted to do. So what? So this is where the Creative Startups Accelerator comes in, and this is kind of the backbone of our program. We have a curriculum that we've developed in collaboration with faculty from Stanford. It's really the nuts and bolts business curriculum that you would expect and find anywhere, except we modify it for creatives. So we bring in guest lecturers and mentors that come and have built their own creative businesses, and they help guide these courses, so it becomes really applicable. And we cover everything from design thinking to financials. We do this all online so that we can accept companies from around the world as part of our cohort. That goes into the other core tenet of growing a national and global network for our entrepreneurs. As an entrepreneur, you know you can't exist in a bubble, and so part of that is having a really great entrepreneurial cohort that works together and shares ideas with each other from around the world. We bring everyone to Albuquerque every year in October for 5 days. While they're here, they do a demo day, which is open to the public, where they have 2 minutes to tell everyone what they're doing, which is a great opportunity to say, you know, it's hard to tell someone what you do, especially when you're passionate about it. I'm struggling to do 6 minutes, and I don't know if we'll make it. We're working on it. But so that's a really big challenge, to condense all the ideas that you have and bring your vision into 2 minutes. We also do pardon me, a closed-door pitch day with investors. We bring in investors, angels and VC, all accredited, and our startups have the opportunity to pitch their business models. And these are investors that are interested in investing in companies in the creative industries. From there, the mentorship and kind of investment pitching goes on over the course. It's been over 6 months now. And so our mentors continue to work with the companies, and our companies continue to find new connections and work to grow their businesses. So this is all going to take us to Meow Wolf today. And so Meow Wolf today is planning on launching in fall. Oh, we got it. Thank you. Planning on launching in fall of this year. They've so far raised a $100,000 successful Kickstarter project. They've found private investors to invest, and they've secured an entire space in Santa Fe where they'll be building this vision that they had before they came to us. And so it's really great to see, you know, Vince says, so Vince and Sean are two of the founders, and they learned how to carry myself and my business into the real world. So we're talking about visionary creatives who are finding the applicable skills and the necessary resources and networks to make these visions into reality. And same with Sean. You know, we at Creative Startups, we don't claim that we make this happen. We hope just to provide this bridge and connect the resources so that our entrepreneurs are able to scale and grow effectively. And so these are some of the results. This came out of our 3-month survey. We're constantly surveying and evaluating. We're at about 6 months now, so you'll see that we're really proud about our mentor engagement. All of our mentors volunteer their time. Like I said, it's a national network. Our startups are out there raising money. We work with our startups to figure out what's the best model for them. We don't encourage everyone to go out and pitch venture capitalists because that doesn't work for everyone. And so we work to find different revenue sharing, maybe looking at different models that aren't equity financing that work for these companies. So we're really excited about the results so far, and we're really excited to launch into our next cohort. And so applications are open through July 19th. You can find us at creativestartups.org. Oh, and they shut me down. PowerPoint is not my friend today. But so we'll hope maybe we can leave that up on the screen so you know how to tweet at us and find us. And from there, I'll just take questions. And I stacked the crowd. I have a lot of friends here today. So, Bruce. Oh, that's a good question. So two shut down immediately. They called it quits right after the accelerator, mostly because they found out going through this process that their team didn't have kind of the shared vision of where they were going to take this. So that was really exciting for us because they were able to move on. They all have successful careers now. I don't know if I have that number off the top of my head. I'm trying to think of anyone who's not making revenue. And maybe that's why it hasn't crossed our mind as one of our metrics, because I think many of them weren't pre-revenue when they started. Most of them had some revenue when they started. And well, so Meow Wolf is pre-revenue, but they're raising investment.
Yeah, first of all, there were 60 applications, including from 3 countries outside the U.S., which surprised us. And out of them, we chose 12. 2 closed, and the 10 that survived are in different stages of development. There's another one with an app for speech therapy, and now has an investor and has evolved into a new company. So it all depends on each of the companies.
What's the mentoring process like?
Yeah, so we keep our mentoring process kind of open. We try and guide our mentors. We facilitate the connections. Really, it has to do with the engagement both of the entrepreneur and the mentor. So there's some things that there's some things with interpersonal relationships that you just can't force. And so that's also been really exciting to us too, because we've seen even like, one of our entrepreneurs in fashion connected with a former VP of Microsoft, who's a total tech and games guy, but they hit it off. And so you never really know which of the mentors will work. And so some organizations, some accelerators have kind of a more formalized process, but really ours depends on kind of the initiative of the entrepreneur. Because like I said, these mentors are volunteer, but they are really willing to help. And so it really depends. We help coach the entrepreneurs and prepare them for, this is how you approach someone, this is how you can connect. And so we facilitate that relationship, but we can't force it. Yeah.
I have several students that I think could apply, but I don't know how far along do they need to be with their idea in terms of what they want to start?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we prefer companies that are past just complete ideation. We like to have at least some sort of prototype or testing, especially through the curriculum, because we use a lot of, the same lean startups ideas where you need to be able to talk to the market, talk to customers, and kind of, it's okay if it's not a firm business model, but it needs to be a little bit past an idea.
Can you also just mention when's your next creative morning to your first one? And it really ties to this because that was this wonderful collection of creative people. What a great thank you for doing that. I know you have another one, because that would be a great funnel to get to this.
Yeah, thank you. So Creative Mornings is another thing that we're working with through Creative Startups. Creative Mornings is an international breakfast series for the creative industries, and so Albuquerque and Santa Fe, we're doing kind of a sister city, and we've just joined 115 other countries from around the world, and so we do a monthly breakfast. The next one's actually here at Fat Pipe ABQ on July 17th. And the theme is collaborate, and we'll be having the two of the women from the Duke City Repertory Theater who are amazing, super entertaining, engaging, and they're going to be talking about how they use collaboration basically to build this community theater that's been voted the best theater in Albuquerque for the past 4 years in a row. And so, as Stacy mentioned, though, we try and make it's an event that's open to anyone. It's free. We just ask you to register, and it's meant to be a place where creatives can come and meet each other. And then even if you're in the business community, you kind of know, hey, if I'm looking for a designer, odds are they're going to show up at Creative Mornings. And so we're trying to make it a space where we bring in all of our thriving but young industries, so all of our film and musicians and independent gamers and all those things, and bring them to one place once every month. So thanks, Stacy. It'll be at 8. Doors will open at 8:30 a.m. and then talks start promptly at 9, and it's just 20-minute talk, coffee. We'll have some breakfast treats, and you're all welcome. We hope to see you here. Eric.
First of all, I just want to thank Roxanne and Tom. It's really had a tremendous impact not only in Albuquerque, but I think our state in terms of what they're doing for big startups. I'm wondering what you learned from the first cohort that you're what lessons, what surprised you about working with those entrepreneurs that you're applying for the next role?
You want full honesty? Yes. I'm surprised how well it went. I mean, we really believed in something. We built something that we believed in. We did our market research. We acted like a startup, but you still have that scary, we very much acted like a startup. We did our market research. We saw that other people weren't doing this. We talked to entrepreneurs. We asked them if this was something they'd want, something they could use. We constantly are trying to get feedback from our entrepreneurs. We work with them a lot. Azine and I go to lunch. Sydney and I go to coffee. So we try and get feedback from them constantly, and from that you see a lot of little changes always. And so it runs the gamut from, midway through our program last year, we realized we needed another little accounting day, basically, to go through more of the basics, and we needed more help and support, and so we brought in more people to help with accounting. That's just one example, and so it's kind of a constant iteration, but really it's fun that way too, because we're building the program together and trying to make it the best fit, because the cohort's never going to be the same, and so we constantly have to be evolving to meet their needs.
And one thing, we're really looking for digital innovation. There's all been for many years recognized the cultural economy, but with all of the digital tsunami that we're all familiar with, in other words, you don't see any more Kodak film, right? Because the cameras are digital, and that's reduced the entry into innovations in film, for example. It's the same with music, same with film, and it goes on, and also game development. So what we're really looking for is, it is creative, but it's using digital tools for the most part to really make the innovation. Meow has 100 mini computers from Raspberry Pi, and it also has a major program out of Intel, all behind the scenes. So it's a high-tech venture, but it's in this creative world. The creative economy in England is the second largest economy in the entire country. And that's what we're shooting for. South Korea has completely changed their economic development policy to foster the creative economy. That's what's going on around the world. You don't hear much here at all. And this is the first accelerator in the creative economy. So we're trying to really carve something new out, where there's new opportunity for people to start their own business.
TJ?
So, opposite Eric's question, what did you learn in this past year? Where are you going? What's the big vision, unfettered? Where do your startup go? Given that it's the first of its kind, accelerator, where and how can we support that vision?
Yeah, so it's been really exciting times going through this first iteration. We're kind of working under the motto of nail it before you scale it. So we're trying to get what we're doing correct. But we've had tons of interest internationally from cities in Portugal, from cities in Europe, from cities on the eastern seaboard, interested in bringing this program there. And so we see a lot of potential because we're serving a market something that it was never packaged and made and modeled for them. And so we see a lot of opportunity. And as Tom mentioned, the barriers to entry are diminishing rapidly. And the opportunity is huge because in a lot of cases, the Meow Wolf example is very, brick and mortar. But in the digital economy, lots of things are transferable over the internet. And so lots of the goods and services that you can provide can be sold anywhere, which is huge for, if we're building these businesses in New Mexico and we're able to export, but it's huge for a lot of the world as well. So big vision is go big. Yeah. Pardon me? Creative Mornings. So creativemornings.com, you can find us through there. There's a drop down that's actually does geolocation, and so creativemornings.com, you can find the closest city is Albuquerque. If you'd like, I'd encourage you to make a profile because it's a fun profile and you can connect with the rest of the community, and then you'll always get the newsletters and updates. The direct web address is creativemornings.com/cities/ABQ, but you'll be able to find us. Bruce? Oh, no. Okay. Well, as of today, when I'm finished here, you'll be able to sign up. We have it already. So it's July 1st, and so this month, it's the July month, so we'll be getting it up today. Yeah.
And I had no idea what it was from this. Were you involved in that decision?
No, we don't. I can't speak to it, Tom. Do you have any of the background on the Meow Wolf sign going up to Santa Fe? I don't know if it was someone maybe donated it to them. I don't know.
They actually bought it. You'll notice there's no date on it. It's just a brand. And I think they were trying
They're inceptioning you.
Yeah,
Putting it.
tease the audience, so to speak. Pardon?
Where is it right now?
The sign.
No,
So it's in South Santa Fe. It's
the Meow Wolf,
yeah, their location.
It's in the old Silver Lane in Santa Fe.
So they're building the new one. They're building it from the ground up. So that's right. So they're employing artists from all over the state. They've secured the Silver Lanes, a former bowling alley in Santa Fe. So they have this massive site that'll be an entire art complex. So it'll have both their permanent installation, which you can explore through. It'll have event space. It'll also have affordable artist studios, and hopes to support the arts community, especially the youth arts community in Santa Fe. And so it's a multifaceted business model that they're launching out of Santa Fe. Yeah.
where was their original art?
I think it was at Site Santa Fe.
That was at CCA.
Oh, CCA in Santa Fe.
And they built another one in St. Louis before doing this one. So they've been through it a couple of times.
Oh. Yes, I will. I'll be speaking at the Coronado Venture Forum on July 23rd at 5:30. I'll be there joining some of the other accelerator programs in Albuquerque. So I'll be there with the CNM accelerator program, ABQID. We're really excited because it's a woman-led panel, which is always really cool in the tech and acceleration world. And so, again, that's the Coronado Venture Forum. And so you'll be able to hear about all the accelerators that are being built in the community and some of the differences and some of the similarities and how we're collaborating together. It's at Isotopes Park, yeah. Oops, which is a really cool location. I think it's going to be an amazing event on July 23rd at Isotopes Park, the Coronado Venture Forum. Yeah. Anyone else want me to promote their event? No? That I will be at? I don't know.
So,
Roxanne, our question for you is, what can this community do for creative startups?
Apply. No, of course you can apply. Of course you can refer entrepreneurs. We are a scrappy nonprofit, so if you like our mission, you can always work with us. We do, we are always looking for sponsors. And so there's lots of ways we look for too. We're building benefit packages from entrepreneurs. For our entrepreneurs, we like to work with local companies. If you have software, if you have services that can benefit the entrepreneurial community, we'd love to partner with you as well. But the big push right now is definitely the applications. And so if you know anyone, you can find us at Creative Startups. You can find me at Roxanne at creativestartups.org. You're welcome to reach out to me. I'm happy to call or talk to anyone. We're in full sales mode, so happy to speak with everyone. And please keep asking questions. Thanks for being such a wonderful and supportive community.
Thank you, Roxanne. Do you love Fat Pipe? Isn't this a great space? So what Stu provides every Wednesday is squatter hours, so you can stick around, talk, continue those conversations, enjoy the Wi-Fi, and work out of here. But I'd like to have Stu come up and talk about a really cool and exciting event coming up.
Actually not. I'm not quite. Since we have a couple of minutes, I'm just going to ask you for some help. I don't know how many of you are aware, but there's a bipartisan effort from the state legislature that has created something called a Jobs Council. It's headed by Mark Lautman. And what they're trying to do is figure out how to create something like, I don't know the number, 110,000 jobs in New Mexico over the next 10 years. And there's all kinds of factors they're looking into. They suddenly realized that there's a startup world. And that could lead to jobs. And so they're focusing on what they call solopreneurs, small startups, and retirees. And I've been drafted to lead a discussion on what can the legislature do to help this group. Money is not an answer. That's not available. What else can the legislature do other than providing money to stimulate job creation among that kind of group? I can come up with my own ideas, but that's not sufficient. So I would love if anyone here could come up with ideas that I can introduce to this discussion that may, if it turns out to be viable, lead to legislation in the next session of the legislature. So ideas welcome. I guess rather than having a broad discussion where I have no ability to take notes, send me an email, if you will, or stop and see me. The email is Stuart, Stuart, at fatpipeabq.com. Yeah. Forget money. There's plenty of, and the reason I don't want to say money in any form is because there are lots of people working on that already. Let's try and find a way. The legislature gets tired of being asked for money all the time, or credits, or anything else. So let's focus on things that are not money related, because that has a much better chance of getting through. Okay, thank you.
I understand that it's also about a 1-year anniversary, which for Fat Pipe ABQ. Did you have any remarks about that, sir? Or I can simply do it. So basically on the 30th, Fat Pipe's been an awesome home, and really, I think ground zero, that's probably not a good term, but really one of the centers of the new entrepreneurial startup activity that's happening in Albuquerque. So big thanks to Stu and Lisa and the whole team here. One of the things we want to do is help them celebrate, so they've invited the 1 Million Cups crowd to join them for their first year anniversary. That's happening on the 30th right here. If you go to fatpipeabq.com/RSVP, I think I've got that right, or search around a little bit, you'll be able to RSVP for that event. Great food and, of course, an awesome community. Thank you for being that community. Hopefully you'll share this with some of your friends and colleagues, and we hope to see you again next week.